hosts Access Hollywood, which is now the #1 entertainment program on television.
Is that on ESPN? What is that on?
It's on network television.
Oh, it is.
Yeah,
What do they
sure.
talk about?
Well, Hollywood
Everything.
stuff. Everything.
Is that important?
It is important. It is important. No, Brian?
I'm going to bring a bat over there to you, Boomer.
Oh, hey,
Yeah.
listen, you
How's
little,
that sound, huh?
you little Hollywood.
No.
So
Hollywood
you were great when you were in sports, and now you're in Hollywood and you got this
You know what?
attitude. It's
You were great
unbelievable.
when you were in sports, too.
You got the wrong guy.
If your radio sounds funny in the morning, you're listening to Imus in the morning.
First day in the World Series with all that emotion going on, someone's got to check their emotions, and they did.
Any of that stuff going on at the VH1 Fashion Awards on Friday night?
Might have been.
Oh, were you there? You were there?
You'll never be on television
Were you-
again the rest of your life.
Were you there?
Sports Radio 66 WFAN.
All right. You know, you've been hearing about all the time you've been spending on the internet. Because it takes so much time because of the internet connection you're using. The fastest connection to the internet available is Optimum Online. I may not be able to... Your political analyst, the late Richard M. Nixon.
Indeed. Grave matters at hand, Imus, in the morning. First, I man, in an effort to make more accessible some of the difficulties faced by Florida vote counters, I'd like to illustrate the punch card ballot Chad identification problem in a fresh way by employing my trousers and my penis.
No.
Fair enough?
No.
Good. Imagine my trousers front here is the surface area of a punch card ballot.
No.
Now then, this slight protrusion in my trousers fly, or apparent bulging, if you will, is what we're talking about when we use the term pregnant or bulging Chad.
No.
But does this mean anything?
Stop now.
That's where subjectivity rears its ugly head, isn't it?
Well-
Does this have meaning or not? Who's to say? Now then, if I very slightly open my trousers fly,
No.
we could say the resulting configuration represents a pierced, though not cleanly punched ballot. More meaning might be inferred from this, but then again, it still seems open to the whim of the observer, does it not?
I'll have you arrested.
Finally, if I open my trousers fly entirely,
Do not do this.
check it out. Is that an unambiguous vote or what? Huh?
I will f***ing shoot you.
Oh, all right. Just trying to lighten the mood, Dono. Lighten the mood.
Taking your penis out in the studio does not lighten the mood.
Fine. The point I'm driving at here is that this is where we've gotten to. People are now so sick of all this, they're willing to engage in damn near any kind of behavior just to get their minds off of it. Up to and including, in my view, taking their peckers out and slamming him in a window sash if that's what it takes. Message from America? Give us a break. I mean, how about yourself? Do you care who wins now?
No.
Hell no. We've got half the population of varicose vein Florida with supplemental oxygen tubes in their noses using Ouija boards on ballots that by now look like they've been through a turkey shoot, determining who the leader of the entire Western Hemisphere is going to be. Am I dreaming? And this is what the big argument's over?
Well-
Al Gore, Joe Lieberman, George Jr. Bush, and Dick Cheney. God almighty. Here's Gore out in front of the teleprompters trying to make some absolutely undiluted bullshit case for himself that's been spoon-fed him by David Boies. And over here's the governor of Texas looking like he's making a statement from inside his own gas chamber. Jesus. Did you see him the other night, Bush? Eyes darting all over the room, tie crooked, sweat popping out all over him. It looked like that just maybe off camera there was a band of cannibals closing in on him with clam knives. And how about poor old Joe Lieberman? Dutifully standing there behind Albert like a disconsolate sock puppet. Pitiful. He had that pleading, why can't a fully loaded 747 crash into this place expression? Not that it's one bit better for big time over on the other side. Can you imagine running for public office as the number 2 guy to George W. Bush? It's got to be like being grafted onto Rain Man. Pathetic. Well, as far as I'm concerned, Dotto, it no longer makes a dime's worth of difference who gets elected, or if anybody gets elected. Screw them all. In fact, as I think about it, I am probably in the most enviable position of anybody to deal with this, Donald.
And that would be...
Dead. A box on both their houses in the old Scope today, I knew, from Dick Nixon, who gracefully bowed out of a similar situation back in '60, you'll recall, but then went on to become a far more noble president of the United States.
You suppose you could zip your pants up now?
Oh, indeed. Sorry. Ouch! Oh, damn! Oh, Jesus! Hanging Chad! Oh, boy!
All right, please welcome now to the Imus Morning program the Washington Bureau Chief of NBC News and the host of Meet the Press, old friend Tim Russert. Good morning, Mr. Russert.
Welcome back, Mr. Imus.
Thank you very much.
That oxygen little thing in your nose, what is that all about?
That's to help me breathe.
Now, did you
I can
really...
actually take it off. I'm taking it off now. Let's see how long I can talk to you with it on. Be a little tennis.
Will your voice get higher?
It'd be great if it'd be great again if I croak talking to wrestlers.
Hey, three's a charm.
Well, thank you.
Your radio sounds funny in the morning. You're listening to Imus in the
We
morning.
do have a birthday coming up, don't we?
Yeah, I'm going to be 79 years old here in a few days.
60.
So.
60.
No, I'm not going to be 60.
You're going to be 60.
No, I'm not.
You were
Well,
born-
okay.
you-
Get me fine. Get me upset.
You will be 60 years old. You
Well,
were born
okay.
in 1940.
Fine. It's just like the other facts on Meet the Press.
Listen, the president's dog's name's Luke, and you're going to be 70.
Imus in the morning. Sports Radio 66 WFAN.
All right, here's a partial list of stuff you can get at Steve Brill's.
With a stupid lazy inferior American sportscaster, Warner Wolf.
Good morning, Warner.
Good morning, Iron Man. Giants second baseman Jeff Kent hit .334, 33 homers, 125 RBIs, National League MVP, collecting an incentive bonus of $100,000 from the Giants, who probably said before the season, yeah, you win the MVP, we'll give you $100,000. Barry Bonds second, Mike Piazza third. But if you're going by statistics alone, the guy who got the shaft was Colorado Rockies first baseman Todd Helton, who out-hit Kent in every category, leading the National League in batting at .372, leading the National League in RBIs with 147, and he hit 42 homers. NBA last night in overtime, the Lakers beat the Kings 112-110. Kobe Bryant at 31 points tied the game with a three-pointer with 2 seconds left in regulation, and then scored 8 of the Lakers' 10 points in overtime. The Shaq had 33 points, 16 rebounds, but was an incredible 1 for 8 at the foul line. 1 for 8. Who are these guys? The LA Clippers, who've scored only 79 points or less in 4 straight games, won their 3rd straight game, beating the Grizzlies 76-72. The Spurs, down by 5 with 5.5 left, went on a 13-2 run, beat the Wiz 99-95. You can beat the Wiz. And talk about a sloppy game. No less than 46 turnovers. The Jazz beat Orlando 99-84. In the big one, the Nuggets over the Bulls 89-85. All right, here it is, I-Man. Which is the most expensive average ticket price for our 4 major team sports? NFL, NBA, National Hockey League, Major League Baseball.
NBA.
Very good.
Yeah.
$51, right
Nailed
on
it.
the nose.
Nailed it.
Damn right.
NFL is $49. National Hockey League average $48. Baseball, still the best buy, $16.50.
Hey, we have that cut from Warner the other night.
They have it at MS. Yes, they have it.
Well, maybe we'll save that later. Just to hammer Warner.
What was that?
We were watching you do the news on
Yeah.
the Sports in Channel 2. And
Right.
There was a big mistake there.
Yeah, we have it on
And
tape.
we have it on tape.
And you're going down.
And you're going down later this morning.
Oh, man.
So if you thought he was talking about Brian Greasy, you lost.
That's what I said, Bob.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
We have that on tape.
Get him out. Must be a mistake, man. College basketball last night. If you had Mount St. Mary's and 46
you lost.
points,
Right.
you lost
Uh-oh.
big. Wake Forest 108, Mount St. Mary's 61. Talk about where are your priorities? Minnesota Governor Jesse Ventura will do the color commentary on the new XFL Football League beginning in February.
I'll be working only Saturday nights, the NBC games on Saturday night. And, I've always had a love for football. As many of you probably know, I still continue to coach high school football, and I do that on a regular basis.
So when does he have time to run the state? Not exactly a 724 guy. Said House Majority Leader Tim Pawlenty, Ventura's antics make it seem like it's a Jerry Springer world and we're just living in it. And finally, I-Man,
No. Begging you.
Bob Greasy is not playing anymore. No. It's his Sports Illustrated version of Karnak. Answer: Yukon Huskies. Question: what do you do if you're a scam artist in Anchorage? UConn Huskies.
Texas is preparing to execute a convicted murderer tonight. The state's parole board denying Johnny Paul Penry's bid to have his sentence commuted. His lawyers say the 44-year-old has an IQ of about 60 and the reasoning capacity of a 7-year-old.
Prices not the governor.
If your radio sounds funny in the morning, you're listening to Imus in the morning.
Whenever we take Wyatt over to Dr. Rosenbaum, he gives him these little stickers. And he draws a little smiley face on this tongue depressor.
Yeah.
So maybe we could do that with this guy in Texas. Give him a couple of stickers and
Executioner with a sock puppet. Over here. Gotcha. Oh.
Imus in the morning. Sports Radio 66 WFAN. Sports Radio 66 WFAN.
And we are back for our final hour. Stevie Cohn will join us a little bit later on and talk some Giants football in general, as a matter of fact. Up until then, it's 718-937-6666, our phone number. I got to say, we're a sports station, and obviously we've had a little bit of politics on the air the last couple of weeks because who hasn't? We still don't know who the next president is going to be, but I'll tell you something. They made an announcement in New Jersey on Wednesday, Thursday, that they are considering raising the tolls on the George Washington Bridge from $4 to $7 and raising the fee on the PATH trains to $2. And the excuse the Port Authority is giving is, wait, we're doing this during rush hour. Meanwhile, they are also suggesting that they are going to raise tolls at other times, but, it won't be as much. And if you have Easy Pass, it'll be $5.50 or something instead of $7. But, tolls are going to go up. And they're saying the reason we're doing this is to discourage people from driving in during the rush hour. And, this is the type of muddy-headed thinking we get from government people. Either that or they just don't have the cojones to tell you the truth that we want more money and this is how we're doing it. Because bottom line is, I don't think people drive in during the rush hour because they enjoy it. Nobody enjoys being sitting in traffic for 45 minutes waiting to pay a toll on a bridge or on some highway. They do it because they have to. They do it because they have to be at work at a certain time, and the job basically says you work 9 to 5. You can't come in at 10. You can't come in at 11. You can't come in at 6. You got to be here 9 to 5. And people don't have choices. And if you live in northern New Jersey, your choice is you get on a train, then you switch and get on another train, then you get on another train, which they're raising the fee for. And it's like, well, you know what? If you had a good option, if you had great bus service, if you had great train service, and I could hop on a train and pay about the same amount it cost me to drive in and get there quickly and efficiently, a lot more people would take mass transit. But they give you lousy mass transit, and then they complain that you drive in during rush hour, and they want to hit you for more money. And it's just like, that's why people don't like government. And, just another example. And if it's just a money grab, hey, let's make some more money so we can build some buildings or dredge the channels or do other things that have nothing to do with going over bridges, then why not just be upfront and say that as opposed to we're trying to get rid of traffic during the rush hour? Because I'm not buying it, and I know most of my friends aren't buying it either. Let's go to Fred in the car. You're on the fan, Fred.
Yeah, I'd just like to talk about the
Who's a funny... that's how we discovered Al Rosenberg, for God's sake, 20 years ago. The guy was a listener making funny phone calls. Well, if I'd have cut him off, the guy would have had a career.
Absolutely.
So anyway, they had a woman filling in for Joe Benigno last night, whose name is Kelly, right?
Right, Kelly Reed.
Yeah. So Bernard calls up as Kendall from Queens. And Bernard was assured by the FAN engineer in New York that he would not be cut off, that it was impossible for Kelly, the host, to actually cut him off because somehow they've circumvented that technically, but that was not the case.
Unfortunately.
But as you listen to Bernard...
Don't do it. Don't do it again.
Don't do what?
Don't play it again.
Why?
It's just too tragic.
It's not tragic. Here you go. Roll it, Lou.
And how it gets discouraging. How adults, I feel sometimes that the children.
Well, it looks like we lost Steve there, but I think I got his point. He's saying that he doesn't want umpires to control the whole tempo of the game. A lot of times, though, I've noticed, I've had friends of mine who've been Little League coaches who wind up leaving, and they quit because sometimes the parents just interfere a lot.
How about
They
some
all
energy
want
here?
their son or their daughter is the best player on the team, and whether they get enough playing time is a difficult thing for them. So that's another problem as well. And right now on the fan, here's Kendall in Queens. Hey, Kendall, how are you?
Hey, yo, what's up, baby? How you doing, Kelly?
Pretty good, thanks. How about you?
Yeah, I'm all right. You know, thanks for taking my call and whatnot. You know what I'm saying? Hey, yo, you know what I told my boy got cut off last time. I once had an umpire go up in my face like that, too. You know what I'm saying? I don't like that. I don't play that, but that's all right, though. You know, we cool now. We cool. Hey, yo, let me ask you something, Kelly. Where you from, baby?
I'm from Queens.
Yeah, you sound sweet. Though. You're from Queens like me and whatnot.
Yes, that's right.
You know what I'm saying? How's this connection sound? Hello?
Hello?
How the connection sound? Sound good?
Sounds good, Kendall.
Yeah, I done stole his cell phone. I'm checking it out, man. Nah, I'm just playing with you, baby. I'm just playing with you. Hey, yo, don't call me Kendall, baby. You know what I'm saying? All my bitches, they call me Matt.
All right, Kendall. You have a good night, and thanks for the call. Thanksgiving. Everyone is out.
I mean, that's only 40 seconds in, Bernie. You can't. What were you going to say to her?
Master K. You know what I'm saying? Call me Master K, yo. No, I was going to get into all kinds of things with her.
What?
Like why Vinny Testaverde only throws to Wayne Corbett, who happens to be white. How come she got the job, couldn't get a black brother down here at FAN to host a radio show overnight? I was going to meet her for breakfast a little later on. I told her it's right down the block. I'm going to come down here right now, you know what I'm saying? I'll pick you up. We're going to have breakfast together, you and me.
Here's McEnroe.
Imus in the morning, 2020 sports with Patrick McEnroe. Man, what a weird-looking little dude. You suck.
Patrick. Good morning.
Patrick.
Good morning, Iman. This Imus in the Morning Sports Report is brought to you by Global Star, above and beyond cellular. Monday Night Football, the Washington Redskins come from behind and defeat the St. Louis Rams 33-20, handing the Super Bowl champs their second straight home loss. The Skins stay in the thick of the playoff race as they are now 7-4, tied with the New York Giants. Washington coach Norv Turner has been under constant scrutiny since Daniel Snyder took over ownership of the ball club. At least for this week, however, his job is safe. Here is Turner on the key to last night's victory.
You know, when we go play and we don't make mistakes, we don't turn the football over, we can be as good as anybody.
In other words, if you play a perfect game, you have a chance to win. Meantime, St. Louis coach Mike Martz said, hey, we can't do any Imus-like whining.
We got to win this division. And, we can sit and whine and moan over this stuff, and you start whining about this one, feeling bad about this one, we don't have time to feel sorry for ourselves.
I resent that.
I can tell you do. Greg Gumbel, Roger Clinton, Jeb Bush, and Fred Imus. I feel their pain, man. It's not easy having famous, more talented older brothers who say or do the darndest things.
Yeah.
Yesterday, my older brother John announced that he was resignating, as W might say, after 14 months as United States Davis Cup team captain.
What?
Unfortunately, Johnny Mac said, for a variety of reasons, I was disappointed that I was unable to have a great impact as captain of the team. In the official press release, said Johnny Mac. According to USTA President Judy Levering, despite getting whipped 5-0 in the semifinals in Spain, the U.S. would never have beaten Zimbabwe and the Czech Republic in the first two ties without my brother's efforts. Several names have already been floated as possible successors.
Would you be one of them?
Among them, former world number one Jim Courier, Pete Sampras' coach Paul Annacone, and even, yours truly.
Why would you want to do that?
For that reason, like Jeb Bush, I must recuse myself from further conversations about this highly political topic.
Why would they want to do that? It'd be like hiring Bruce Cosler for the Pro Bowl to be the coach.
No, it happens every autumn, man.
Well, actually, your brother must be kind of disappointed. Wasn't he a big jacked up about? Well, yeah, he has been jacked up about Davis Cup for all his life, hasn't he?
Well, the problem is he didn't have someone like himself on the court.
Yeah.
That's the problem.
Right.
Someone as committed as he was to the Davis Cup cause.
Too many people like you on the court.
That's really not necessary, Bernie. I resent that.
By the way, does
just call me Master K.
Does the McEnroe family get together for Thanksgiving?
Yeah, usually we do. Sometimes some of us are traveling.
Oh, my God.
Right.
That makes it difficult.
All of you sitting there.
Usually that happens, yeah.
I want to lay!
Do you have any idea what you're doing back in that kitchen? I'll snap you like a wishbone. Shut up.
That's not at all.
Tell your wife to get a job.
It's nothing like that at all.
Mashed potatoes. Mashed potatoes.
No. That is not it at all.
Oh, no.
No, come on.
Not your family.
Could you please pass the cranberry sauce, Mother?
I said white meat, damn it. You're not a mother, you're a moron. 360 degrees.
John, can I have some gravy, please?
Yeah, right. They say shut up.
Patrick, send over the pecan pie.
Mac and roll Thanksgiving.
Right.
God, what a
Pecan
nightmare.
pie, please.
Do you have any idea?
Hold this, I'm going to the diner. Come on, Patty. It's called cooking.
It's not at all like that. Nothing like that at all.
It's called cooking.
Very calm, very composed.
Come on, you guys. It's 7 minutes. It's 7 minutes till the hour. They're in the Imus in the morning program. Anything else, Patrick?
Yeah, a lot more, actually.
Well,
how much time do we have?
We have no time.
Okay.
We're out of time.
Well, I can't believe you keep doing this to me.
Well, I mean...
No, I mean nothing.
Well, we got the Monday Night
rambling on
Football
about the
game
Thanksgiving at my house. It means it's nothing like it is. It's very cool, calm.
Yeah, we got your brother resigning from Davis Cup, and what else do we need to know?
Well, we need to know a lot more.
We have an election to cover here. We don't have time to worry about a bunch of jacked up morons on steroids. So.
Yeah, like yours truly.
We need to talk about a bunch of people jacked up on digitalis down there in Florida, sucking butterfly ballots. Now, it's 6 minutes till the hour. Thanks, Patrick.
Yo, mic check.
Woo.
Testing. 1, 2, 12. What up?
Imus in the morning.
All right, let me talk to you now about, looks like sixfigurejobs.com. It is that. What makes this sixfigurejobs.com site, you've been hearing about, any better than all the other sites out there? Well, basically a couple of things. Exclusivity and quality.
Imus in the morning.
This is WFAN in New York and Infinity Broadcasting Station, part of the Viacom deal. Time now for the local news, and here with that is Charles McCord. Good morning, Chuck.
Good morning, I-Man. Some of the headline stories locally. The New York Post this morning reporting a former upstate New York prosecutor has been arrested for trying to bribe a paralegal at a top Manhattan law firm for insider stock information, I-Man. Well, Robert Schuster's now practicing in Westchester. He was released for Christmas.
He would rather spend your money for you. I would rather you have some of your money so you can spend it for yourself.
This holiday season, nobody to stop by. A pleasure.
Yeah.
Thanks again. Thanks for coming by.
That'll be fine, David. Good morning,
Patrick.
Good morning, I-Man. This Imus Sports Report is brought to you by the Continental Airlines. Monday Night Football, the Washington Redskins beat the St. Louis Rams 33-20. As the Skins win their first Monday night game in 3 attempts this season. The Skins are now 7-4. Rams fall to 8-3. Now, just when you thought that old Morticia, Florida's embattled Secretary of State, was the most outrageously partisan political hack in the nation,
Leave her alone, Chuck.
check out Minnesota State Senate Majority Leader Roger Moe. Yesterday, Moe,
You're a Mo.
obviously speaking on behalf of Larry and Curly, asked the state attorney general to investigate whether Governor Ventura's new gig as the voice of the XFL on NBC violates any ethical guidelines. Now, in the humble opinion of this sportscaster, that's the most ridiculous question we've heard since Bernie Shaw asked big-time Dick Cheney to imagine he was a black man being racially profiled. Everyone, certainly anyone who listens to this program on a regular basis, knows that those running the XFL have absolutely no ethics whatsoever.
What?
So why in the world would they need guidelines? And if there are no guidelines, how could the irreverent Jesse possibly violate them?
You need
Get off your
guidelines.
soapbox.
Yeah.
Now, it happens every autumn, man. Thanksgiving approaches and the weather turns cold in New York.
That's right, bro.
And that can only mean one thing.
Wrap this up.
It's time for the old It's time for the old Jews to head to Florida. I'm sorry, that's a typo. It's time for the old Jets to head to Florida. Gangrene showed us something on Sunday in Miami. They went to a no-huddle offense in the first half when they were winning, albeit 6-3. They used defensive back Marcus Coleman and reserve QB Ray Lucas as wide receivers, and the Jets' offensive line punched so many holes through Miami's front four, you'd think they were a bunch of butterfly ballots. Most surprisingly, though, they went into the fourth quarter actually holding a lead.
I get it.
What a concept. In fact, just to show you how prepared the Jets were on Sunday, they actually went to Florida with their own Chad. Rookie backup quarterback, Chad Pennington. And not even the Dade County Canvassing Board would ever claim that this Chad was pregnant.
He's hanging, though, I can tell you that.
Take it from one who knows, man. The transition from professional athlete to professional broadcaster represents an emotional turning point in one's life.
Good point, bro.
And yesterday down in Atlanta, old DW, Darrell Waltrip, ended his 29-year Winston Cup ride.
You're a good rider.
Next season, he'll be the NASCAR analyst when Fox takes over from CBS. The 53-year-old legend crawled out of his car one last time at the Atlanta Motor Speedway after finishing 34th in the Napa 500. It was DW's 809th race, of which he won 84 en route to 3 Winston Cup titles. And finally...
Too bad you went under that car.
Hey, Master K.
I don't think we need to be attacking
Master K,
McEnroe,
why don't you pick on someone your own size and with their own intelligence, like maybe Dr. Laura?
Is that a pregnant pause for effect?
Question of the day, man, as we wrap up this
Florida
sportscast.
Supreme Court.
As we wrap up this sportscast, man, question of the
Hopefully
day.
here in a second or so.
Where would you rather be? At the McEnroe family Thanksgiving dinner? Or at Kelly Reed's My Weekend at Bernie's? I'm P-Mac, and that's sports.
Imus in the morning.
All right, let me talk to you about contentbill.com, right, Bernie? Lou?
That's it. That is correct.
Subscriptions to hundreds to appear on the radio. None of them have a sense of humor. None of them. And you put these people on. I mean, we have the worst people for this radio station in New York, WFAN. We have the worst people that you can imagine doing radio programs, with the exception of Fatso and Fruit Loops. The rest of them, they suck so much it hurts. It makes my hair hurt. Well, Summers is actually pretty good.
What is this in reference to?
This is in reference to this call that Bernie made to the all-night babe, who had obviously, no sense of humor.
How she's there is inexplicable.
And how she got the job is outrageous. She is awful. She is absolutely awful. And I mean, I know...
Oh, my God.
Well, she's awful. And like Jody McDonald is a nice guy, but God Almighty, he and that witch that he's with.
Wait a minute.
She's not a witch.
How does this get? How does this thing just explode?
All right, I apologize. All right, let me take it back.
God.
I apologize to everybody at the radio station. I'm sorry I said bad things about them, but I really mean it. So, but it's irrelevant. And they're fine. Jody and Susan are great, and though they're not great, they're awful. But they'll be on. They're going to be on. They can't get rid of them.
This is because a phone
And
call
then,
got cut off.
and this is what?
Yeah, this whole thing's because a phone call got cut off.
Well, because it was the phone call Bernie made was so hilarious.
It was a scream.
That you just got to go with it. I mean, you're on the radio.
But she didn't understand that.
It's supposed to be. Well, don't hire her then. It's supposed to be fun. We're supposed to have fun on it. That's what we're doing here. This is not Meet the Press, or this radio station is not the CBS News, or, I mean, it's fun. It's supposed to be fun. But they also serious about everything. And
ruined a good bit.
God Almighty. I mean, at least Francesa and Russo have a great sense of humor. Of course, Bernard can't call them because they're already wise to him. But
every other third black guy they get, is this Bernard?
But at least they're willing to have fun, And I mean, that is so irritating. Anyway, I have to remind you, the Auto Body Express is sponsored by Nikon. They're open now. Stonewash stuff and denim stuff and great stuff. Imus Brothers Coffee, Fred Imus Southwest Salsa, the chips, all in gift packs. The greatest hats, Stonewash hats and Stonewash sweatshirts. Great T-shirts and jackets, and it's just neat stuff. I don't bore you with it. Just call them. 1-800-272-1957, the Auto Body Express. They gift wrap everything and send it to you, and you don't like it, you send it back. They don't hassle you. So the Auto Body Express for Christmas. Take all your credit cards and they're open now. 1-800-272-1957. Well, we'll try to get to Bernie's call, and maybe we probably don't have time for Wilford Brimley, do we?
Well, not now, no.
No, not right now.
Well, that's the problem. I get upset and get on these, get exercised and
get on a rant.
And can't control myself, but...
Once in a while is okay.
But, well, Jody and Susan, actually, I'm just kidding around about that. They're fine. But, I mean, and they both know sports, and they're both very good at what they're very good at discussing sports. But specifically, I mean, Play this call. We'll just take time for it. I don't care.
Let's do it.
We're already screwed anyway.
You know, that's how adults, I feel sometimes that
This is Bernie last night calling the all-night
Looks
show.
like we lost Steve there, but I think I got his point. He's saying that he doesn't want umpires to control the whole tempo of the game. A lot of times, though,
Could we
I've
get some
noticed,
energy in our
I've
voice
had
here?
friends of
Have a
mine
cup
who've
of
been
coffee,
Little League
sweetheart.
coaches who wind up
I don't know.
leaving, and they quit
Anything.
because sometimes the parents just
Fine,
interfere a
fine,
lot.
fine.
They all want
Fine,
their
fine.
son or their daughter is the best player
Talk
on
to
the
Bernie,
team,
talk to Bernie.
and whether they get enough playing time is a difficult thing for
Come
them.
on.
So that's another problem as
Great.
well. And right now on the fan, here's Kendall in Queens. Hey, Kendall, how are you?
Hey, yo, what's up, baby? How you doing, Kelly?
Pretty good, thanks. How about you?
Yeah, I'm all right. You know, thanks for taking my call and whatnot. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Hey, yo, you know, I told my boy got cut off last time. I almost had an umpire go up in my face like that, too. You know what I'm saying? I don't like that. I don't play that, but that's all right, though. You know, we cool now. We cool. Hey, yo, let me ask you something, Kelly. Where you from, baby?
I'm from Queens.
Yeah, you sound sweet. You from Queens like me and whatnot.
Yes, that's right.
You know what I'm saying? How's this connection sound? Hello?
Hello?
How the connection sound? Sound good?
Sounds good, Kendall.
Yeah, I done stole his cell phone. I'm checking it out, man. Nah, I'm just playing with you, baby. I'm just playing with you. Hey, yo, don't call me Kendall, baby. You know what I'm saying? All my bitches, they call me man.
All right, Kendall. You have a good night, and thanks for the call. Thanksgiving.
I mean, what a humorless geek.
Couldn't even get the line out. They call me Master P, all right? Or Master K or whatever.
Well, where were you going with that, Bernie?
I was gonna, we were gonna have breakfast this morning. She didn't know it yet. We're gonna talk about why Testaverde throws the ball to Corbett all the time, a white guy. How come we can't get any brothers on FAA and this and that? You know what I'm saying? And now you gonna take me to breakfast. I'm right down the block. I'm gonna be waiting outside for your ass, Kelly.
No.
I like to hear some funky Dixieland. Pretty mama, come and take me by the hand. I wanna hand, take me by the hand. Pretty mama, come and dance with your daddy all night long. I like to hear some funky Dixieland. Pretty mama, come and take me by the hand. Imus in the morning.
We're going to talk with Mary Madeline in just a second, and Senator Bob. Enormously popular, successful afternoon talk show on WFAN in New York. And they both began their careers, well, not their careers, but they both came to note. Actually, Bernard discovered Mad Dog, working weekends at the station. They both did sports on this radio program, the Irish Morning program, and then they got together, and they called their show Mike and the Mad Dog, and there's always been this suspicion that they don't like each other. And at various times, the acrimony has revealed itself on the air. And apparently it's gotten so bad that there was a meeting with the general manager yesterday, and I'm here to discuss this now, is our old friend, Christopher Mad Dog Russo. Good morning, Mr. Russo.
An old friend. Good morning, Don. How are you?
I'm fine.
How's Santa Fe?
Well, I'm not in Santa Fe.
Why, wherever you are.
I don't go to Santa Fe.
Should I send Tony and Molly after you pretty soon, my parents?
No, that's right. Russo's parents, they live in some little yuppie enclave out here. But we're about 50 miles from Santa Fe, and I never go to Santa Fe, so.
How is it waking up at 3:30 in the morning to do talk shows?
Oh, it's just great.
You in the middle of the night?
It's not 3:30. It's 2:30.
That's right, 2:30.
So, what's going on with you and Francesa?
Well, we've had a lot of, little disputes regarding sports issues, and at times that can cause some trouble, so that's kind of...
Well, what kind of trouble does it cause?
Well, you're fighting about, whether Sammy Sosa should be a Yankee or whether the Knicks are better than the Pacers or, those kinds of little, Portland, L.A., Scottie Pippen, and you fight on those kinds of things, and it's been going on for, about 10, 12 days, occasionally it can get a little heated, and so, you sort of got to clear the air. Just to get back on the same page.
So it affects your personal relationship?
Well, listen, if you're fighting constantly on the radio, it's certainly going to make it difficult to communicate when, there's breaks or when the shows are over or, you can't let it go too far is my point. And at times it can go too far, so I think that's why they try to
here's the
continue a
reason.
little bit.
Because you, we know, hate the Yankees, and you claim, speaking of your dad, because your dad would never take you to the games, right?
No, that's a big factor. He's a huge Yankee fan. I lived with Joe DiMaggio my whole life, and it drove me absolutely bananas. So from that standpoint, my Yankee. Listen, I mean, I hate the. I can't root for the Yankees to win under any circumstances, and for them to get a Sammy Sosa, which I think would be, it's a move you have to make if he's available. Would really hurt me from a Yankee standpoint. And Mike thinks that you shouldn't get Sammy Sosa. So that's the latest one.
Yeah, but that's not the real reason. I mean, your father not taking you to the games may have something to do with it, but the real reason you hate him is because, they're Francesa's team, and he...
Well, let me ask you a question about that. Yeah. Why did I hate the Yankees when I was 20 years old? Why in 1977, 1976, and 1978...
I said your father was part of it.
School in New Lebanon, New York, 20 years before I met anybody from WFAN. Why would I hate the Yankees then?
I said that your father was part of it, but now that it has been escalated and emphasized because of your distaste.
I hated the Yankees harder because I didn't know Joe Torre. I didn't know some of these. I mean, I actually liked Torre, and there was nobody in the 1970s I liked. That is absurd.
You would rather do.
Psychiatrist.
Wouldn't you rather be doing the show by yourself? If you had your choice.
No, I've been doing a show for 11 years.
I understand.
I do a show by myself on Saturday mornings.
I understand that.
A show that you happen to like, I might add.
Where do you have more fun, doing the show by yourself Saturday morning or Monday through Friday from 1 to 6 or whatever it is with Francesa?
Both shows offer big enjoyment. You get a much better. The bottom line is to get a radio buzz. You know the word buzz, Don. That's part of your lexicon for a long time.
What if in this big meeting with the jug-eared general manager of ours yesterday, Dumbo Ears Davis, what if he had said, Chris, we've decided that we're going to let you do the show by yourself, and we're going to let Mike work with Steve Summers at night. What would have been your response?
That's a hype. That didn't happen. What do you think? You think the station wants to break up this highly successful?
No, I'm just asking
you. Came up with before you had me on here. Highly successful radio duo.
I'm just asking you.
Just answer a hypothetical. That's all.
Yeah, that's all.
I'm not going to answer a hypothetical. That's not going to happen, and I'm not going to do that.
First of all, wait a minute.
I don't want to see Mike or myself go anywhere else. I've been together with Mike for 11 years. Why would I want that to happen?
Your fights are over hypotheticals. I would point out to you. That's what this whole thing is about. Over hypotheticals. The genesis of the acrimony between you and Francesa is rooted in hypotheticals.
Excellent point, Donnie. Excellent point. Good job by you.
Whether Sammy Sosa's going to come to the Yankees, Derek Jeter, A-hole Rodriguez, all of these various things.
He's right.
See what I'm saying?
I understand that, but Don, I mean, you can't compare, sitting on a bar stool as kind of what we do anyway, and talking about who's better, A-Rod to Derek Jeter.
Are you drinking on the air?
I finished, for goodness sakes.
Are you guys drinking on the air? That's what I used to do. It's outrageous.
You're funny, Don. I love it. Now, what do you want to tell you? When you do a show with somebody for 11 years, you're going to have your ups and downs. Right now, we're in a little down period. That's all. You're trying to get me to tell you that, I can't stand Mike. Boy, I can't wait to get him off the show. Boy, I love it. That's not going to happen. That's all ridiculous. First of all, it's never going to happen. The station loves this show, as you do as well, I might add.
Yes, I do. Well, I love Francesa. He's my friend, and I tolerate you. I actually like you as well. If I had to be honest about it. But I am closer to Francesa.
I understand. You can of course. Who has a problem with that? Have I ever come up to you and said, "Well, it's not fair"?
No, but I just want you to leave him alone. Stop picking on him.
Defer to him once in a while.
He's the sports doctor.
Yeah,
show some respect. He is the sports doctor.
He's the authority, and you're the clown.
He's the senior member.
You're a phony.
You're the clown. He's the doctor.
Show some. Give me a pep talk. Feed me raw meat.
I think you need to show some respect. Is what we think.
He says Sosa's no good for the Yankees, then Sosa's no good. Shut up.
I think that you just got to say. You know what you've got to start saying, Chris?
What, Don?
You've got to learn to say, "You're right, Mike. I couldn't agree with you more."
That's it.
On the fan.
Why don't you try that today?
On the fan.
Back in 60 seconds. On the fan. Thank you. You're right.
Hey, Chris.
Yeah, Donnie.
Thank you very much.
All right, buddy.
Chris Russo here on the I Miss It Morning program. That's exactly right. Show the sports doctor some respect.
The proper respect.
Yeah.
R-E-S-P-E-C-T, find out what it means to me. R-E-S-P-E-C-T, T-F-T-C-T. Suck it to me, there is say. Suck it to me, Imus in the morning.
This holiday season, HB has invented some cool ways to share the joy with family and...
General George S. Patton Jr.
At ease, as you were. We're gathered here today, boys, to celebrate a great warrior and a great victory for our democratic institutions. Does anybody know the extraordinary triumph I am referring to? Well, of course you don't, because I haven't revealed it to you yet.
John McCain handing Trent Lott his ass on the floor of the United States Senate, sir?
I'm talking about Senator John McCain handing Senator Trent Lott his... What? How did you learn the subject of today's briefing, Private? Somebody break security? I am ordering immediate countermeasures.
I read it in the paper, sir.
Oh, very well. I knew that. Just checking to see whether... Oh, forget it.
Forgotten, sir.
Now then, let's get the tedious part over with, people. The lesson to be drawn from the great Trent Lott debacle of the year 2000 is this. Pick your fights carefully. Have integrity on your side. Go in with overwhelming force. And have an exit strategy. In other words, everything that Senate Majority Leader Lott failed to marshal in picking a fight with Johnny McCain last week on campaign finance reform. He got humiliated, boys, stood in the well of the Senate, whining about McCain's move to force stealth political committees out into the open, and got his prissy butt kicked. 14 Republicans, gallant soldiers all, joined in open defiance of the GOP majority, approving the first significant campaign finance reform to pass the Senate since 1993. I couldn't be happier, lads. Anything that can occur to humiliate Trent Lott makes this old soldier's pecker stand up and salute. And particularly if it's the result of a campaign engineered by a crusading war hero. A hero in conflict with a gnat whose closest contact with American combat forces is when the son of a bitch happens to drive by Arlington National Cemetery. Private, give me a Janet Reno Cuban refugee solution to the lights in here and roll out the overhead projector. Very well. Cease firing. That'll do. Cease firing. God almighty. Okay, let's take a look at the principles involved in this matter today. Private, slide A. Can you identify this figure?
Sir, yes, the private can, sir. The concrete hair, the block head, the ears surgically pinned against the skull, the Margaret Carlson spectacles, the carefully ironed shirt, the carefully ironed suit, the carefully ironed tie, socks, shoes, and I suspect thong underwear. Oh, and the whiny, annoying, self-righteous, flatulent gas bag pomposity. That's the overbearing majority leader of the United States Senate, sir. The aforementioned Trent Lott, one of the political whores who don't understand that the American electorate has had it with unregulated soft money in the political system, sir.
A little more than I needed to know, but absolutely accurate. Very well. And the individual in slide B, Private.
Well, that's easy, sir. The square jaw, the noble nose, the clear-eyed vision of the God and country patriot who grasps the fact that obscene amounts of money are making a mockery of government of the people, by the people, and for the people. Hell, that's John McCain, sir, whose experience with American combat forces consisted, in large part, of repeatedly telling his Vietnamese captors, beating the hell out of them, to go themselves, sir.
Dead on, Private. And I would venture to say that Trent Lott, who was at Ole Miss doing the splits and waving pom-poms when John McCain was flying F-4s over Hanoi, now knows that some sawed-off POW guard wasn't the last person John McCain has told to go themselves. Private, let's sound off.
Yes, sir.
When you're legislating garbage, this is germane. If you're a Mississippi sissy, don't with John McCain. Thank you for your attention, man. That is all.
Allow me to introduce myself, stranger. The name is
Imus in the morning.
What's the biggest thing to happen after Thanksgiving?
If it's not the home run, what stands out for A-Rod if it's not the home run?
All right, let me say it again. Sunday afternoon.
I don't care about one game, dog. And say it again, one game.
Right,
And Jeter could break a game open, too. What's that? Doesn't mean anything.
Can I talk for a second?
Yeah, but who cares about one game?
Can I talk? Maybe the fans do. I don't care if you do. Maybe some of the fans do.
Maybe they do. I hope they heard it already, but go ahead. Let's go.
Let's just go to the calls. I'm not going to deal with you on that. Here's Frank on the car phone. Frank, how are you?
Oh, that is ugly. that is really ugly.
Man, did you get a chill? I got
Oh, God almighty, man. That actually makes me hot.
Oh,
See
man.
the disgust in Chris's face.
Oh, man, I mean, that is we'll get back to more of this later.
Oh, that is rough.
That's nothing, Daddy. That's nothing.
Please welcome now to the Imus in the Morning program, America's anchorman, the managing editor and anchor of the CBS Evening News, Dan Rather. Good morning, Mr. Rather.
Hey, good morning. Listen, book these two guys into Madison Square Garden.
No kidding.
That sounds like we're going on with you and Connie there.
That's not necessary. You apologize.
I'm sorry.
Got your limitations, Ronald.
Absolutely.
I'm very sorry, Mr. Rather. I apologize.
No need to apologize. Come on.
So we called Bill Richardson yesterday. He's the Secretary of Energy, and of course, obviously you know this, but he assured us a year ago that nothing was going to be missing up there at Los Alamos. And as Bernard pointed out this morning, Dan, by Friday, Bill Richardson is going to be on a milk carton because we couldn't get a hold of him. So my question for you is, what the hell is going on?
It's beginning to look a lot like Imus. Everywhere you go, all the people are sorry and mean, most miserable folk you've seen, in shirts and hats with turquoise buffalo. It's beginning to look a lot like Imus. Out in Santa Fe, a most hideous sight to see. Melancholy you will be on this Christmas Day. A pair of stallion boots and a pistol that shoots is the wish of Deirdre and Fred. There's a big sack of oats for the chickens and goats. It's just too bad they're all dead. Well, Santa's fallen down the chimney and he split his head. It's beginning to look a lot like Imus, making yellow snow. And although it's a bit obscene, holding up his skin-tight blue jeans, a belt with buckle made of mistletoe, it's beginning to look a lot like Imus. Scrooge will stop this talk, and the thing you most often hear, glad it comes just once a year, he can't suck it off. There's no holiday cheer, everybody's in fear at the sound of his jingling spurs. You can hear the refrain as the people complain, they're all tired, their backs getting worse. Instead of Christmas carols, they all bitch and moan and curse. It's beginning to look a lot like Imus. It's the last Noel. There's no now when the I-Man shouts, Santa sucks, now just get out. Christmas time in hell. It's beginning to look a lot like Imus. 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 Imus.
You idiot. You idiot. You just the dumbest bastard.
Bastard on the planet.
I am talking to you. You're a disgusting slugger, you stupid. That's all we need to know, and I expect you to get an answer from this guy.
Believe in the boogeyman? Imus in the morning.
So when do you think the branch offices will get those reports?
Voice. Now, this is from yesterday's program.
This is cold.
53 seconds. Mike and the Mad Dog, WFAN in New York.
Hi, Mike and the Mad Dog along the way, and Sterling called up, made a good point. You also got to remember that Jeter plays at Yankee Stadium, which is tough, and A-Rod plays.
But I don't think Jeter's a home run hitter, though. But I think people just look at A-Rod's 42 homers and say it's no-brainer. I'm not knocking A-Rod. I'm just saying I think Jeter is very productive.
I would love to have Jeter on my team. He's a great, great player. I just think that A-Rod is special.
What is it that you like?
Well, look. Well, this year, you want to say that it's all injury. I mean...
Well, this is going to last year's. What is it that's... If it's not the home run, what stands out for A-Rod if it's not the home run?
All right, let me say it again. Sunday afternoon...
I don't care about one game, dog, and say it again, one game.
Mike,
Jeter could break a game open, too. That doesn't mean anything.
Can I talk for a second?
Yeah, but who cares about one game?
Can I talk? Maybe the fans do. I don't care if you do. Maybe some of the fans do.
Maybe they do. I hope they heard it already, but go ahead. Let's go.
Let's just go to the calls. I'm not going to deal with you on that. Here's Frank on the car phone. Frank, how are you?
Oh, man.
Oh, man.
What Frank said. Ooh. That is dripping.
He said first time, long time.
God.
That is
Great show, guys. I love the show.
Man.
Now we have another 39-second cut.
Whew.
A further illustration of this. Play that, Lou.
Look at his postseason performance.
So you think basically that Jeter's a better player than A-Rod?
No, but I'm saying that everyone who says that it's so outlandish, if you look closer, it's a lot closer than people think.
Let's say what the answer is.
A-Rod's a better offensive player.
That's all.
But not a better player. But not a better player. Better offensive player.
Well, I mean...
Jeter's a better defensive player, and I'd rather have him on my team.
Okay, better offensive player is A-Rod, which is what I said at 516.
Look at those postseason numbers. So just take those into account, because A-Rod's got a long way to go till he gets those.
20 brought to you by... Can you hear that arrogance there with that Yankee stuff?
No, it's true. It's his performance.
We know that, but the poor guy hasn't played in the postseason. Come on, give the guy a break, will you?
No, that's not quite as bad as the other one.
No, the other was more acid.
The other one was just dripping venom.
Right. Ooh, poisonous.
Man, they must hate to go to work, don't you think?
And face each other?
It's like teaming up Dr. Laura and Barney Frank to do a show.
I think the solution is to try to bring them together, don't you?
No, man. No.
Yeah, we want a fist fight.
Warner
weighs in.
That's
Warner?
What's the matter with you? That's what makes the good radio. People don't want them to hear appease each other and keep saying, "Oh yeah, you're
Don't
right. Oh,
change
that's
the
a good
team."
point." No, that's what they want.
No, but there's one thing to argue the way we do, for example, on this program, but that there is genuine loathing that it makes you uncomfortable.
Uneasy.
I mean, if you want to go back to Jack Benny and Fred Allen, it never made you well, I don't know.
Yeah. Look at, you've heard of Tinker and Evers and Chance? Huh? Joe Tinker and Johnny,
No.
they hated each other. Great double play
What kind of
combination.
show did they do?
Good radio.
Double play combination for the Cubs. Hey, never spoke to each other. Well, they were great together. Maybe that's one of the reasons.
Yes, but that wasn't their job to speak to each other or anyone else.
Well, communicate to each other, But that's good radio, man. That's what the folks want to hear.
It shouldn't make you cringe and make you uncomfortable.
It's too much.
It should be. I mean, it's one thing, Bernie and Lou and Chuck kidding around about the I-Man dying, which we know they don't mean.
Who's kidding? What are you?
But this is, this is chill time. Let me hear that again, that 53-second one, Lou.
Hi, Mike and the Mad Dog along the way, and Sterling called up, made a good point. You also got to remember that Jeter plays at Yankee Stadium, which is tough, and A-Rod plays.
I don't think Jeter's a home run hitter, though. But I think people who just look at A-Rod's 42 homers and say it's no-brainer. I'm not knocking A-Rod. I'm just saying I think Jeter is very productive.
I would love to have Jeter on my team. He's a great, great player. I just think that A-Rod is special.
What is it that you like?
Well, look. Well, this year, you want to say that's all injury. I mean...
Well, this is going to last year's. What is it that, if it's not the home run, what stands out for A-Rod if it's not the home run?
All right, let me say it again.
Oh.
Sunday afternoon.
I don't care about one game, dog, and say it again, one game.
Mike,
Jeter could break a game open, too. That doesn't mean anything.
Can I talk for a second?
Yeah, but who cares about one game?
Can I talk? Maybe the fans do. I don't care if you do. Maybe some of the fans do.
Maybe they do. I hope they heard it already, but go ahead. Let's go.
Let's just go to the calls. I'm not going to deal with you on that. Here's Frank on the car phone. Frank.
Oh, man, that was just... Isn't that great, Lupica?
But you know what, man? It was great until, in my opinion, Mike showed no respect to Chris in the last comment. But the bottom line is, look, there are 3 great shortstops in baseball today, which is terrific.
Oh, shut up, Warner.
Here's wait a minute now.
Well, no, nobody wants to hear that. That's cringe time.
Well, there are.
I'm begging you, Warner. Shut up.
Warner.
We'll get back to Warner in a minute.
You hear the arrogance in that?
Hey, Warner.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Oh, thank you.
Well, I got to talk to Lupica. Hang on.
Go ahead.
Hey, Loopy.
Hey, you know what I found most troubling about this whole conversation?
What?
The Fred Allen Jack Benny reference was a little troubling to me.
Well, Bernie brought it up, not me. So what?
No, I brought it up.
You're going to have to come back.
Who's on first?
What? No, Warner brought up the, or somebody, who brought up the Fred? Oh, it was Warner brought up the Fred Allen.
Yeah.
Oh,
What
then it makes sense.
Feuds are great radio.
Did Fred Allen and Jack Benny, they weren't on the same show, were they?
No, but they knocked each other every chance they had on their own show.
Oh, I see.
And Jack Parr and Ed Sullivan apparently did the same thing in the old days. But you're going to have to come back.
Mike Lupica, Pete Vesey. That was an ugly situation, wasn't it, Mike?
There's a feud.
It's good show business.
My friend Pete and I. Hey, you're going to have to come back for an intervention. That's the only thing that can save this relationship.
Oh, no. We can do just as much damage here as we can there.
No. Can this marriage be saved?
No, we just... Okay, now, Warner, I'm sorry. What were you going to say?
There are 3 great shortstops today. Here's the bottom line. Garcia Parra, Alex Rodriguez, and Jeter. You couldn't go wrong with any of the 3. But as far as these 2 guys arguing, that's show business. That's what makes it.
Yeah, but
nobody wants to hear him say, oh, that's right.
No, but Warner, that was uncomfortable to listen to, and you're right.
That got a little acid.
You're right. Francesa showed no respect for Russo, which is not good.
On the last comment. Right.
Yeah, that's just not good.
Yeah,
because,
that was 4.
Why? Because he has no respect for Russo.
He hates him.
Yeah, he hates Russo.
Can't have that.
So,
Spoons and the saucers and dirt on the floor.
Good morning. Good morning, Rochester.
Good morning, boss. Did you have a nice night?
Oh, pretty good, Rochester, but as you know, I had a difficult time falling asleep. I counted 3,000 sheep.
3,020 to be exact.
Was there that many?
Yeah, and boss, tonight when you go to bed, why don't you take a little pill?
No, Rochester, I prefer to count sheep.
I know, but I feel so silly putting on that white coat and jumping back and forth over your bedpost.
Imus in the morning.
You're sitting in a hospital. Worse, you're sitting in a hospital with a cast on your foot. All because you kicked a wall. It was out of frustration when you found out your metropolitan area hotel wasn't really.
Media Watch with Walter Cronkite.
Return with me now to May 31st, the year 2000. A Wednesday, but it could be any day, for it is another day like all days, filled with the events that once again drive one of the 25 most influential personages in this nation to the brink of murder. Yes, this morning, we approach a familiar media figure splayed across the Media Watch journey of investigation. The flab-filled carcass and fish belly butt of Don Imus, blustery brute of broadcast, host of the Imus in the Morning radio program, and antagonist of incompetence wherever and whenever it rears its foul head. And rear its foul head it does in the day-to-day tedium that is the I-Man's life. While Hamilton Jordan suggests it in jest, the I-Man really could write a book entitled Never a Good Day. What is the now near constant source of Imus's discontent? It is the American service industry, the trades, contract workers, craftspersons, the people with whom, truth be told, many, if not most of us, are acquainted, who patch our roofs, decorate our parlors, pave our driveways, and yank our chains. Indeed, the people who, metaphorically speaking, give us an estimate and a guarantee, and then grudge us against the very kitchen counter we called them in to replace, grinding away our time, our budgets, and our patience until we're whipped, worn down to keening little nubs of desperation, willing to do anything, pay anything, to get the bastards out of the house. That is the condition of most of us, but not all of us. Let's probe for a moment the dark recesses of the I-Man laid out here before us in full colonoscopic glory. As I snap on my rubber glove to begin the examination, I feel confident in predicting what I'm about to find here. Yes, there it is. I've just withdrawn, well, the expected bouquet of flowers, the wristwatch, the habit trail, and yes, this item, the sign whose unequivocal message states, "Don't tread on me." Here we have what this old investigator of injustice, malfeasance, and outrage calls the great contractor conundrum, which is simply this. While you and I can get screwed by these people and must simply suffer in silence, why in the world would they seek to do the same to John Donald Imus, who has as his life's guiding motto, get mad and get even? Neither you nor I have recourse in these situations. We emerge Reginald Denny-like, brains caved in with, appropriately, a cinder block. But once in a while, a noble hero emerges, through which we, the oppressed, can live vicariously. A Don Imus and his 15 million member army, before whom he can lay bare the builder who won't build, the paver who won't pave, the plumber who won't plumb, the decorator who won't decorate. The conundrum again? Why would these lowlifes and malcontents challenge him? Don't they ever listen to the show? You and I may have to roll over, but he eats contractors. Cross the I-Man, and you won't be paving sewer grates. You won't get a gig hanging curtains in latrines. Fair or not, it is the power of privilege. It's media might. Stated simply, it's juice. The I-Man's got it, you don't. He uses it, you can't. So the matter is stated. Provoke the I-Man at your peril, tradesman. You could wind up in the Imus Ranch Foundation. And in this case, I don't mean the charity. Enough said. Media Watch, this is Walter Cronkite. Thank you and good night.
Sitting on a throne with a microphone, tirade, diatribe in a baritone, foaming at the mouth like a maniac. Pitbull jaws lock in the attack, ranting and raving about his power and clout, on a prowl for a target he can take out. Lambs to the slaughter for the sacrifice. Don't look him in the eye or you pay the price, cause ain't no reputation he won't impugn. Luminaries, politicians, nobody's immune. Network head or just yep his slime. If there's blood in the water, then it's fiending time. Ain't no secret that you can conceal. The more he make it squirm and the better he feel. As President Clinton or Peter Moss, they'll tell you who the boss.
Every small mistake, put your life at stake. You won't get a break. I'm dissing you. No matter what you say, he'll blow you away, much to your up, show him a weakness, the fear he smell, then makes him about his morning to live in hell. Got a lot of snaps in his bag of tricks. Do a number on you, cause his is 666. Ain't no witness for your prosecution, cause he's judge, jury, and executioner. If I was you, I would plead the fifth, or drive my car off the very next cliff. But don't come up with some lame excuse, cause you just asking for more abuse. If you say something that you shouldn't have said, you'll be consumed with feelings of dread. Roll the dice with him, you're gonna lose. Start singing the blues. Every step you make, every small mistake, put your life at stake. You won't get a break. I'm hands dissing you. No matter what you say, he'll blow you away. All you can do is pray that he'll pass away. I'm hands dissing you. Every slip you one fine morning, when his life is over, you'll dance. I'm on his grave. No matter what you say, we'll pass away. He'll blow you away. All you can do is pray that he'll pass away. I'm hands dissing you. Every night we pray there will come a
Did you come in and put money in Merle Haggard's hat?
I did.
Oh, no, you didn't. You're kidding.
And Merle Haggard put his hat on. He said, "Well, there's money falling out of my hat. Why did you do that?"
Well, I looked in the window and I felt sorry for the guy.
You're lucky he didn't punch you in the mouth. What are you, nuts?
You did.
You're about the dumbest bastard I've ever met.
He looks like he had just been singing at Penn Station. So.
It's Merle Haggard, you moron.
I know.
If your radio sounds funny in the morning, you're listening to Imus in the morning.
It was the visual that got me. I just, hey,
Help a guy out.
See a guy down on his luck like that? I know.
With the guitar and, hey, here you go, bro. If I had a cigarette, I would have thrown that in there, too.
In the morning. Sports Radio 66 WFAN.
All right, let the I-Man talk to you about the Fujifilm Fine Pix 40i digital. Now, these are two guys. Francesa is a very good friend of mine. And I have to confess, I have great affection for Russo, too. I actually like him. But, I mean, if I'm, as I said to Russo earlier this morning, I am closer to Francesa. That's just
It's just the way it worked out, that's all.
Yeah.
Can't do it to apologize.
Because when I want to know what's going on in sports, who do you ask?
Well, the sports doctor.
Yeah, you ask Francesa, you ask Lipica. There's nobody else to talk to. We could ask Warner or McEnroe, but I mean, come on, go serious. But then I have a more personal relationship with Francesa.
Yeah.
But they work together, and it is clear now that they genuinely hate each other.
Yeah. That, if there was any doubt, it is now removed, and it became removed yesterday afternoon late on their show on WFAN in New York.
And I hear Warner Wolf when he says it's good radio. I understand all that.
Yeah.
But not when it reaches the point where one of the participants is showing an abject disrespect for the other, and it makes it uncomfortable to listen to. For example, we have a 53-second cut from yesterday's program that I would describe as cringe time.
Hi, Mike and the Mad Dog along the way, and Sterling called up, made a good point. You also got to remember that Jeter plays at Yankee Stadium, which is tough, and A-Rod plays.
But I don't think Jeter's a home run hitter, though. But I think people who just look at A-Rod's 42 homers and say it's no-brainer. I'm not knocking A-Rod. I'm just saying I think Jeter is very productive.
I would love to have Jeter on my team. He's a great, great player. I just think that A-Rod is special.
What is it that you like?
Well, look. Well, this year, you want to say that it's all injury. I mean...
Well, this is going to last year's. What is it that's... If it's not the home run, what stands out for A-Rod if it's not the home run?
All right, let me say it again. Sunday afternoon.
I don't care about one game, dog. Say it again, one game.
Mike,
Jeter could break a game open, too. That doesn't mean anything.
Can I talk for a second?
Yeah, but who cares about one game?
Can I talk? Maybe the fans do. I don't care if you do. Maybe some of the fans do.
Maybe they do. I hope they heard it already, but go ahead. Let's go.
Let's just go to the calls. I'm not going to deal with you on that. Here's Frank on the car phone. Frank, how are you?
Well, not as uncomfortable as the wig pig deal with Steak Shapiro, but close.
Boy, no kidding.
And here, speaking of that, live from Atlanta, Georgia, from our very fine affiliate there in the Deep South, the aforementioned Scoop Shapiro, formerly Steak Shapiro. Good morning, Mr. Shapiro.
What do you mean there's nobody else but the sports doctor?
Well, just that.
What didn't you understand about that fuzzhead, chrome dome, light bulb noggin?
Hasn't he been exposed time and again on the program? I mean, how many times are you going to hang him out to dry?
Hasn't who been exposed?
The sports doctor.
No, I mean...
When's the last time he legitimately came on your program and got something right? Other than butchering the NCAA tournament.
He's not Gene Dixon or Nostradamus.
When he came out and called you an a-hole.
Yeah, that was the last time. He was right on then. When he said you were... Well, the last time Francesa was right was the most recent time he described you as the single most annoying, obnoxious person he'd ever met.
He is a swine.
Well, pardon me? For a guy who's dressing up like a pig, oinking on the radio, I don't think you're in a position to call anybody a pig.
I didn't take the wig home with me, if you know what I mean there, Mikey Francesa. Chris Russo is a star. Mike Francesa is a swine. It should be called Star and Swine.
Oh, I resent that. You apologize, you fat loser.
Fat loser. Why don't you play that Francesa bit? Because everybody, you know that Mike Francesa bit that we did had them dancing in the hallways at WFAN. Dancing.
Well,
it could not have been.
What do you mean we did? You didn't have anything to do with it.
I am in creative control.
You have not. You say yes, put it on the air. No, don't put it on the air. Is that how that works?
You have sessions in which people throw ideas out, and oftentimes it is my ideas that come to fruition through Mike Bell's voice.
And you're claiming that this Francesa bit of yours does what?
This 100% accurately, in a satire fashion, depicts who Mike Francesa, the swine, is.
Boy, Carmine, that Mike Francesa sure is one talented guy. How did he get to be the preeminent radio sports host in America?
I heard he was an executive assistant of Brent Musburger at CBS.
You mean,
Yeah, he was a brown-noser.
I want to get into radio broadcasting too, but I haven't got time to tailgate.
Well, you don't have to. I just picked up Mike Francesa's Radio Made Simple, Easy to Listen to cassettes.
No.
Here, check out tape 1, Networking with Coaches.
Don't forget to pick up Parcells Laundry on Tuesday by noon. And remember, the coach likes extra starch.
That's some amazing insight.
It's always a good idea to have some extra handicap stickers on hand so you get a good parking space in front of Sparks. Take it from me, Mike Francesa. Bill really appreciates that.
Hey, what about getting along with the co-workers?
That's covered on tape 3.
Are you looking at me? Don't make eye contact with me. No one looks at Francesa face to face. Eyes down. And where's my poppy seed bagel, you intern?
Yeah, but what about making those amazing Final Four predictions?
If you screw up a pick, always feign humility. Now repeat after me. We should have seen Gonzaga coming, I-man. We should have seen Gonzaga.
I should have seen Gonzaga, I-man. I should have seen Gonzaga.
You know what's interesting about that steak is all of that material came from us, you know?
He's gone.
Gone.
What?
All of that material came from us. What, if he hung up?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's gone.
Couldn't take the heat.
I greatly resent that attack of mine.
Ray Lewis's co-defendants got to him, hopefully.
Now, that's a little harsh, don't you think?
Not at all.
Wishing that the two guys go stab Steak Shapiro?
I didn't say that. I said got to him and grabbed him and took him away from the phone.
That's all. Well, then what would you want them to do with him once they got him away from the phone? Stab him.
Have a conversation. Steak is back.
Anyway, back to Mike and a Mad Dog. So this is the situation. One time I was with Deirdre and I were with Richard Santulli and Colucci and all of them at this deal that Warren Buffett spoke at.
Yeah.
When Warren Buffett bought Executive Jet. And one of the things Warren Buffett said that he does with his companies, and he's one of the most successful guys in the planet, is he doesn't work with people who make his stomach churn. If he does, it just doesn't. So, and I don't either, by the way. So I don't have anybody on my staff here at the ranch, any place. Dalabot Express, the Amazon Morning program, who I don't like. Or who that annoys me. Some of them annoy me. Chicken Jack's kind of annoying, but I like him, you know. Graham's kind of a nerd, but I like him. Geronimo and Maria, they're annoying, but I like them. You know? You know what I'm saying?
Why'd you call me an a-hole earlier today, then?
Well, because you are an a-hole. But this is a situation where these two guys are working together, and it is absolutely clear that there is genuine, not just animosity and acrimony, but loathing.
There was so much venom in that, man.
Dripping venom.
Absolutely.
Stakes back, apparently. You know, here's the interesting thing, Shapiro, is all of that material from that very weak bit, by the way, voiced by very amateurish, by the way, production values and voicing. All of the material came from observations that either I made, Chuck made, or Bernie or Lou made. Isn't that true?
No.
Well, okay.
Not even for a second, and you know that.
No.
And why was it so widely heralded at that radio station that somebody finally stepped forward? Because the suck-ups on that program clearly are intimidated by the show as well. Somebody finally stepped forward and called him out for what he is, a swine.
Matt Francesa is a beloved individual at this radio station.
They kind of look at him as a Santa Claus figure.
Cash cow.
Yeah.
People would love to hang him from the rafters and use him like a piñata in that building.
I think you're way out of line for someone who dressed up on national radio and television in a blonde wig and squealed like a pig to refer to anybody as a swine.
Together again. My tears have stopped falling. The long, lonely nights are now at an end. The key to my heart you hold in your hand, and nothing else matters. We're together again. Imus in the morning.
What's the biggest thing to happen after Thanksgiving? The after Thanksgiving sale of sales at the Wiz. Nah.
Here now, some late-breaking developments just into the Imus in Washington Network newsroom.
First, Dateline Los Angeles, where authorities say the source of a new great sucking sound has just been identified as George W. Bush's presidential campaign. A slightly retarded Texan was in full whine mode a short time ago as he lay on the floor of his hotel room, beating his fists on the floor and kicking his feet as he sought to assign blame for his humiliating twin primary losses in Michigan and Arizona. IIW microphones were there, hidden in the curtains by special correspondent Mike Wallace, warning the following may not be suitable for children.
Thank you so much.
Damn it, Carl. I thought that Pat Robertson and that Rex Reed...
Ralph Reed, governor of that Ralph Reed.
Whatever. I thought they said those push-pull phone calls and those phony tapes and everything would work. What are we going to do now? Oh, my God.
Well, we have to go more negative, sir.
More negative? Didn't you hear that Pat Robertson crap we did in Michigan?
Yep, and we got new material from Reverend Robertson for Super Tuesday.
How is he?
The worst, sir.
Can I hear it?
I have it right here, sir. Listen to this.
Friend, this is Reverend Pat Robertson. Those backsliders in Michigan didn't listen to me, so I have a special guest with me today who wants to tell you some things about John McCain. A lot of you know this special fella. It's Jesus Christ. Jesus, let me hand you the phone so you can tell our voters what you have found out about Senator McCain.
Friends, I don't want to influence your thinking or anything like that, but John McCain is the devil. He has unnatural sex with barnyard creatures. His wife, Cindy, runs a witch's coven outside Phoenix. The POW stuff is made up. And he kidnapped that little Asian girl after he mugged her mother. Hey, who are you going to believe, the Son of God or Warren Rudman? This is Jesus saying, vote for a reformer with results. Vote Bush, because McCain sucks. Amen.
Well, what do you think, sir?
That's genius stuff, Carl. Y'all keep your job a while.
Here now, live from Atlanta, Georgia. Apparently weighing in again on this Mike and a Mad Dog feud is Scoop Shapiro. State Shapiro. From our very fine affiliate in Atlanta, Sports Talk 2960 The Zone.
Right.
Morning, Scoop.
I want to back off on some of that Francesca stuff just for a second because I think maybe I was too harsh, and then I don't want to be.
You were insulting to my friend.
Yes, I was. Yes, I was, and I feel like maybe I took it over the line. But I want to say this.
Well, why don't you apologize then? Say, I'd like to apologize. Well, just repeat after me. I, Steak Shapiro.
No. I'm not going to be led down that path again. No.
Why not? Say, I, Steak Shapiro. I, Steak Shapiro. Apologize for referring to Mike Francesa as a swine.
No freaking way. No, that's not happening. But
well, okay. Are you sorry? Are you sorry you called Mike a pig?
I feel it was probably a little over the top. I don't need any more enemies than I already have.
You're the guy who put on the blonde wig, I would point out, and squealed like a pig on the national radio and television.
But it showed a level of humility that fat ass will never show. And what I want to say about my...
I say national television, I really mean MSNBC, but you know what I'm saying.
I want to say this, and I think this best sums up Mike Francesa, and I don't know the man personally. I haven't had that great honor as you had. He is a joyless human being.
That is not true.
And that's the best way to sum him up. He is a joyless person. There is no joy. There is no skip. There's no hop. There's no moments of glee. There is no lighter. Mike Francesa is, in his essence, at his core, a joyless human being. And every time you talk to him, you hear that. You hear that.
You, on the other hand, are a bitter, envious buffoon.
Look, sports talk radio is a young man's game. Mike's going to be out of it anyway soon, so I'm not worried about that. Listen, he is a joyless person. Look at his heart and look at the core, and that's where I think you'll find what's going on with those two.
You're proud